Hello guys, welcome to the 4th class of the expert course from Scriptcase. My name is Carlos and I'm your instructor for this course. So guys, for today, we're going to create the applications for the staff module. Basically, we're going to create 3 applications. The staff will have 2 options to follow up his own appointments by using a report application with filters and group by, or a calendar using his appointments. To proceed with an appointment, the staff is able to check a Google Map app where he can see the customer's address. Okay, so let's open up here Scriptcase. Let's log in. Okay, just a moment. Let's access here the project. Okay, well, first let's create an application, a grid application based on this grid application that we created yesterday for the customer. It's simple. Go here on the right side, and there's the copy button right here. Just click on it, and then we're redirected to this page, which basically it asks us to inform the name of the new application that we're going to copy. Basically, I'm just going to copy this prefix and add staff to the end. And it's right here. Just click on it. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to the SQL part of the grid application. And what I'm going to do is change here the where clause. I'm going to copy this. Instead of being customer ID, I'm going to filter it by the staff ID, and also change the where clause, the global variable. Alright, doing this, I'm going to go here to the field positioning. Let me save this. And I'm going to place the customer field instead of the staff. Alright, let me save it. And basically, in the top toolbar, I'm going to enable the quick search. To the left side top toolbar, I'm going to enable the group by button to the center. And also, I'm going to enable all the export buttons, which basically are these. Okay, now I'm going to create a group label, actually this group button that we have here, to kind of get all these buttons and set them in a group button. Basically, just going to select them all here and click on add. I'm going to call it export. Click on add, and we have this option here that contains all the exports. So if I run this application, schedule, cancel, so it's listing everything. Let me apply the lookup settings for the customer ID. This is what it looks like. The group button that contains all the exports. Let's go here to Scriptcase. Let me apply the lookup settings for that customer ID. Automatic, create select, customers, okay, and I'm going to modify the refined search. Okay, so instead of using the staff ID, I'm going to select the customer ID, remove here the total price also. So where's the customer ID? Here. Let's go here to edit fields. On the start date, I'm going to enable it to have a day format. And let's run it. So the day format is basically here. And it's showing all the customers here. Alright, has some ratings here. Oh yeah, I'm going to use that rating later on. Okay, since I already copied this application directly, it's not pretty much to set up on it. I just adjusted it to work with the staff instead of the customer. And basically, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create the calendar application. So this application here is finished. Alright, let's create the calendar application. The thing is with the calendar application is that it requires a table that's kind of set up that supports the calendar format, which basically are a couple of fields. So let's select here the calendar, and I'm going to use the appointments table. Alright, I'm going to call it calendar appointment staff. But first, I need to go here to edit calendar fields. Why? Because I need to reference the fields that are required for the calendar to work. Okay, so these are a couple of fields. The ID, I'm going to set the appointments ID. The title is going to be the current status ID. Start date, start time. End date, end time. The recurrent. And the period. Okay? So let's create that. Although applying those fields, I'm not going to use all of them. Alright, let me run the application so you guys can see how it looks like. Okay, so this is how the application looks like. Alright, so we have the month view, we have the week view. These are current appointments that we created. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday when we requested those 3 inquiries, which was the repair, backup, and format hard drive, basically. Okay, so we can navigate throughout the months, no problem. Okay, let's go back here to Scriptcase. I need to modify a couple of things. Let's go here to fields, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove a couple of fields. I'm going to remove the staff ID, since this is already an application that's going to be used by the staff. The end date, end time, go to the recurrent, period, rating, and all day also go as well. Alright, in the toolbar here, I'm going to remove the add, which is the insert and update buttons. They're going to be enabled dynamically by a method I'm going to create. Also, let me go here to the select. Actually, the SQL part. I need to add a where clause, simple where clause. Different from the grid application that you have access to the select query. For the form calendar application, you don't have access to the select query, but allows you to filter the information with a where clause. Basically, in this field, just place staff ID equals glow staff ID. Alright. So let me save that. Going here to the calendar option, I need to set the initial module of the calendar to be today's date. Actually, not today's date, the day format, which basically is this last one that we have here. It's going to start in this format. Alright, so let's go here, set it to day. Save it, and in the fields, the customer ID, since it's already a select, I need to apply the lookup settings for it. Alright, so let's go here, apply the correct lookup settings actually, customers, and the same thing for the current status.
Over here, my current status ID.
Save it. Okay, let's run it. Technically, I applied the information yesterday to be applied to the staff, which contains the staff ID 5, which is Anderson. So if I go back here to month, it should be here, awaiting confirmation. So if I click on it, I can view this information here, but there's the delete button. I can delete the record directly. Okay, so yeah, it displays a form in a module view. As I said, it's basically a form application, which is in a calendar format of view. All right, so let's go back here to Scriptcase. I also need to create a couple of PHP methods. So let's go here to programming, PHP methods. Basically the usual one that we create, UPD price. And basically going to call here the total price equals price plus additional charges minus discount. Okay, so let me save that. This method is going to be called in the onChange for the additional charges and discount, obviously. So let's go here to Ajax events. Let's create those events for the additional charges onChange. Since we already saw this, I'm going to go a bit more quick here so we can see the rest. Basically today I'm going to create with you guys a report PDF. And it's going to take a couple of more time than the other applications. So I'm going to save here, new Ajax event, discount, onChange. Okay. Let's run the application. Let's see here. Additional charges, $40 for the surface. And it's updating. Okay. What I can also do basically is set the total price and the additional charge, actually the total price and price as labels. So just place here label in the field settings, also the total price, set it as a label. Save it. Run it. Okay. So this application here is partially finished. I still need to do one more thing to it, but I'm going to leave it for later. I need to create another application now that's going to contain the Google Maps that we're going to use. Alright. Let's go here, new application, and let's create the grid application. This one using the customers table. I'm going to call it grid customers address, and it's going to contain a where clause where the customer ID equals the global variable var customer ID. Okay, let's create it. Okay, this application here is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to set only the grid module to be enabled, so I'm going to disable the search, detail, summary, and chart. And in the grid module, I'm going to set it to use a slide orientation. It informs me to use a slide or vertical grid, it's recommended to set the value of measurement unit of the table width. It's recommended, but not actually needed. Alright, but I'm going to set that kind of based on the blocks that I'm going to use, because I'm going to create a couple of blocks for it. First, I need to go here to the toolbar, and I'm going to remove all the buttons from the toolbar except for the print and exit. Okay, so let's go here on the print, remove those, and these. Remove these. Save. I'm not going to run the application yet because it's not actually containing any information at the moment since I modified the orientation. I need to set a couple of parameters here for it to work. Let's create here a new field. This field is going to be the Google Maps actually. I'm going to set it as the special type Google Maps and set the name to Gmaps. The Google Maps field offers us three options to load the map itself to the application. The first one is being in the geocode, which is the one you see here. That basically offers us the option to inform other fields as parameters to filter the location and drop the pin on the map exactly on where the address that specific record is pointing at. The other one is the latitude and longitude, as it says. You can actually inform the latitude and longitude. It'll pinpoint on a map that specific location, and also through a URL. So if you have the URL directly of a Google Maps point, you can place it here and it'll work normally. But in this case, I'm going to use a geocode, setting the customer's address, the country, and the city. Alright, let me save that. But actually, for it to work, I need to set this a little bit better. Let me set up the blocks first, then I'll worry about the lookup settings. Let's go here to layout, blocks. Let's create 3 extra blocks. The first one's going to be info. The second one's going to be address. The third one is going to be map. Okay, labels on the top, above, above, and above. As for the columns, the first one's going to contain 1 column, the second one's going to contain 2, third one 3, and the map is going to contain only 1. Okay, let's save. Now, going here to the field positioning, I'm now going to set the position of the fields to their correct block. In this case, I'm going to remove here the customer ID. Let's go down. The info is going to be the email and phone. The address itself is going to be the country, address, and city, state, and zip. And the map goes to the last one. Save that. And I'm going to disable the sorting for all the fields. Let's run the application. And this is what it's supposed to look like. Let me set this a little bit better. Let's go here to blocks again. Let me disable the label for the maps. There's no need for that. And in the maps itself, I have an option to display that link that redirects me to a window that contains the map, or I can simply place the map in the grid itself. So if I run it now, it's supposed to display the map here. Okay, it's not showing because of this and this. Let me apply the lookup settings. The country, automatic, country, alright, and the city. Apply that. Finish here. Okay, let's see. Is there any errors here? It requires a key. For the field Google Maps, I forgot to inform you guys. If it doesn't show up as it should be, it's because the field requires an API key to work. And since it's Google, you need to request the key directly with Google so it can work. And there it is. Okay, so you need to request the API key directly with Google so it can work properly. Alright, now let's go back here to the calendar application. I'm going to inform a couple of settings here actually. I'm going to create a button. In fact, I'm going to go here to button, new button. And I'm going to create a button link. I'm going to call it address. Alright. Link. I'm going to link it to this grid application that I created. Passing the customer ID here to that global variable that I set to the where clause of the grid application. And I'm going to set it to open it on another window. Alright. And I'm going to open the application in the tab within the menu, if there is any. And I'm going to set it to customer address, the title. Alright. Let me save that. And I also have some coding to do in this calendar application. Let me go here to the code repository and let's access here the calendar appointments. And first I'm going to copy the information I have here for the onload. So let's go here to the events, onload, paste this here. Okay, so the global variable to save the total price value. So this is the global variable that we're going to be using. I'm going to check the current status ID. If it equals 4 or 2, that means that the update button is going to be on. Otherwise, it's going to be off. This macro here, scbtn displayed, is used exactly to manipulate the display of a button dynamically in the application. You can use this to dynamically display the buttons of the native buttons from the application, and also do the same to your custom buttons that you create in the application. Let me save that. I also have this other code set up here in the on after update, which basically is the same code that we created in the other application that's going to be used to create the log in the appointments history table, as we can see here. Okay, so let me save this. Let me set that global variable actually. No, the var total actually. This var old price, yeah. Var old price as out. Okay, let's run it. I'm going to call this 5 admin. What happens is that I'm going to access this one, and as you can see, it's a winning confirmation, so it's not 2 or 4, so the update button is disabled. But the address button is here, so if I click on it, it opens up another tab with the information of this customer. Okay? I'm going to need you guys to pay very attention to what I'm going to do now, because I'm going to create the report PDF application. And if some of you are familiar with our previous versions of Scriptcase, with Scriptcase 9, it kind of modified the interface. Our developers implemented the option for you to drag and drop the fields to your desired position. Okay, but they also gave you the option to inform the position if you'd like. Let me show you guys. Let's create a new application. The report PDF, in fact. Alright. And I'm going to call this application appointment invoice. And I'm not going to select any tables here directly. I'm going to use a select query that I have here. So it doesn't interjoin here. Let me copy it here. A little bit easier. Okay, so it has the appointment's ID, the appointment start date, a couple fields from the customer, another here of the price, additional charges. Okay, so let's create it. I'm going to try to do this as low as possible because this application is going to be a little bit tricky to do. Alright, at first I'm going to set the PDF format to be an A4 format page. Alright? Now what I want to do is I'm going to create this report PDF to look like an invoice, in fact, but I need to import a background image. So I'm going to scroll down here and select here font and background image, and this opens up the image manager of Scriptcase. I'm going to open up here and I'm going to import it on a project level, a background image. So I'm going to select a file, upload, select here the file. Let's show up here the upload actually. Okay, so let's go here. It's in Documents, Code, Report PDF, Invoice, JPEG. Open up. Okay, so it uploaded it to my Scriptcase. I'm going to select it here, add the selected. Okay, now due to its size, I need to redesign it basically. I'm going to leave it at the same format as the A4, which is 210 by 297. Okay, so I'm going to change here 210 by 297. Okay, so let me run the application so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Set here. The fields are going to be all bunched up in one place here on the left. What I want to do is I want to place them in their correct position, which is the invoice being the appointment ID, the amount here on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to drag partially them, which is a little bit more easier, and I'm going to set their position based on a reference that I have here also in the code repository. Alright, so it can be very precise. So I'm going to go here to the layout PDF, and I have this interface here. It allows me to drag and drop. Fortunately, I haven't learned exactly how to hide this interface here, unfortunately. So it kind of covers up part of my screen. I don't have a very big screen right now, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to drag here the fields partially to their position, and then I'm going to set their position a little bit more precise using the X and Y axes. So starting from the appointment ID, it's supposed to be here in the invoice. Okay. The start date, it's supposed to be here. Alright. The total price is supposed to be here. Discount is supposed to be here. Additional charges, it's going to be the tax actually. The price is going to be here. Okay. And these ones are going to be like this one here, this one here, this one here, 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 and here. But I do have a reference. Let me open up here. The positioning is right here. So basically, let me set them manually. So the appointment's ID is going to be 170 by 29. So I'm going to just click here on the appointment's ID. And I have here the position. So just hold up till it hits the value that's set. 29. The start date is 170 by 21. So right here, 170 by 21. Okay, the name is 1077 actually. 1077. Alright. The address is 1082. The city is 1087. Unfortunately, I can't type it in here. 87. The customer zip is 6587. The phone is 1095. Now, where is the state? 4087. Okay. Now, let's scroll down here and select these fields that are here. The price is 170 by 202. The additional charges is 170 by 210. The discount is 170 by 219. The total price is 170 by 231. Okay, so let's run the application now to see how it looks like. Well, it looks way better now, right? I still can do a couple of things. There's the lookup settings I need to do for the country and city. Let's go back here. City, I can just click on it, go here to lookup settings, and set it up directly from here. Automatic. Set the city. It already gets the information I want. Save it. Same thing for the country. Now where is it? That's the state. Oh, strange, where's the country? City. And this is a zip code. Is there a country? No, my bad. There isn't a country. Sorry. Los Angeles, California. Okay. Now I'm going to create another field in this report PDF that's going to be a subselect type. It's kind of a special type of field that only exists in the report PDF. What's going to do? It's basically going to set here in the description all the services that I requested and their price actually. So let's go back here. I'm going to go to fields. And I'm going to click here, new field. Alright. Next. And I'm going to select this one right here. Subselect. Alright. I'm going to call it details. Create. And what it does basically, as the type suggests, is it does a subselect query on the table that you want. I already have here the subselect information I'm going to use. This query right here. Just going to use the appointments detail and appointments type tables. I'm going to set the increment here by 5, which basically it's going to run and do a spacing of 5 millimeters, I think, between each field. Actually, each record that it returns. Alright, so let me save that. And I need to go back to the layout PDF. And on the top, we can see a couple of more fields. In this case, I'm going to set their position directly. Which one did I select? The at price. It's 170 by 125. So just go here. 170 by 125. Next one is the description. 30 and 125. And next one is the appointments ID. Alright, 20 and 125. Okay, let's run it. And as you can see here, format hard drive, files backup, 100s, 50 it's suggested here, and $20 of discount, 130. Okay. I can also set some masks here. Let me set the mask for the telephone. If I go here to general settings, you can set the mask detail. The same mask that we apply for the grid is the one used here, so it's X's. Same one for the zip code. In this case, American zip code doesn't need actually the mask. What is any other postal code in any other country, perhaps? I don't think in the US. Okay, well, since there aren't any questions coming in, I think that's it for today then. So guys, have a nice evening. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow at the same time, okay? Bye guys.